What is up, Chubbs? What is happening, my Damien?
What it's up?
It is your girl, your favorite Chubbette here. So, I decided to get back to my series. I was doing my 2 cents on different shows. A lot of them was mainly on TLC. And a show I did watch has made a reappearance called Strange Addiction. But the new episodes is Strange Addiction. Still Addicted. Because they do have new people in these episodes, but they have couple clips of people that was on the past season from like 10 years ago that had their addictions and see if they were still addicted. But we are going to focus on the main character in these episodes because the two I'm going to do this one and then I'm going to do another one on another one because it's wild. Okay, so if you have any suggestions you want me to talk about, feel free to leave them in the comment section or go to my Instagram and you can send me a DM from there. So we're gonna get right into it. This episode is season 1, episode 2. It talks about a man named Tyler. He's 30 from Lawrence, Kansas. And he said it's a small town, middle of nowhere. It's not it's like boring basically. And he comes out with his addiction.
They call me Tuna Tyler, and I'm addicted to smelling tuna.
Tuna Tyler is addicted to smelling tuna. Now, my man is in a coffee shop, okay? Coffee shop, ordering coffee, and then he pulls out his can opener, and the can cracks it open. And the lady that's serving him coffee, like, what the fuck? Like, she's literally in awe. He's like, oh, this is a good way to start the day. I'm like, sir, we started with coffee sometime. Like, not a can of tuna. And then he goes on into drinking the juice out the can. He likes tuna because it's light fish smell and it's a little sweeter than other canned fish. I don't know. And he has a preference. My man has a preference in tuna that he likes.
I like the tuna in the oil over the water because it's like the oil allows the tuna to stay in between, not too dry, but then not too loose and mushy.
Yes, he prefers his tuna in oil instead of water because the smell lasts longer. And I guess he buys 15 cans a week, which is 4,000 cans maybe a year. And then he spent in the last 5 years, because his addiction really got worse in the last 5 years, spent over $5,000 on just cans of tuna. Back to his childhood. He was a child that wasn't really a favorite of candy. He was not a candy person like any other kid. You know, they get candy for special occasions and stuff like that. His mom gives him tuna. She gives him tuna like Christmas stockings, Easter basket tuna. Because I guess, through the years they ate a lot of tuna, sardines, etc. So he does eat other than tuna. He eats sardines and clam. Oh, I can just imagine the smell in that house. But but his main thing is tuna. Now, his love for the smell of tuna really came from him going on vacation with his family in Florida years ago. And he just had smelled the fish. I don't know if it was by water or whatever. The smell of fish. I have never been to Florida, so Florida, if anybody watching Florida, does it always smell like fish? He loves the smell because it's a reminder that he needs to move to Florida, and that's his reminder. That's why he loves to smell the fish. Okay, it reminds him of Florida, and he needs to move there. He has lost friends, and he has not dated a single soul since he was 15 years old. And he wants his dream girl to love tuna just as much as he do. Good luck, Chuck. I don't think so, sir. I don't think so. with sipping and the drinking of the tuna, he also places tuna cans all over his house. All over his house. When I mean all over the house, I mean under the couch, on in front of a fan, behind the toilet, on the toilet tank, everywhere around his house. And they just be everywhere. So he says the cans of tuna last up to 3 months open. And he will throw them out when he starts to see critters around his house. That's when he'll throw it out. What? Yeah, so he would throw it out when he see critters. Now, he did have an incident where he was asleep on the couch and felt something crawl over him. He was like, well, maybe it's just a bug. First of all, I'm not going to be calm if it's just a bug. I'm not going to be calm. I'm not that one. I would jump out of my skin. So it wasn't a bug. It was a rat. It was a rat crawling on him. And he said, okay, rat gone, but I'm still going to leave my tuna around the house. I don't know why I'm getting nauseous just talking about this, okay? He considers tuna as his sense of security. He never alone with his can of tuna. And it does happen with quite a bit of people that has social awkwardness, and they would have a crutch. And sometimes them crutches be stuff like this. His mom, named Ursula, came to his house while he was at the gym, and she was just checking in and everything else. And the moment she walks in,
I don't know. It smells like tuna.
so his mom goes into his house and cleans and picks up old cans from around the house. She finds 25 cans in total around his house. And she's like, yeah, I need to have a talk with him. This is crazy. This is weird. So she sat there until he got home from the gym. Now, they're having a conversation about the cans and how obsessive this is. First, they talked about the landlord. You live in an apartment. Infestation narrows down to one place and spread. You are a problem. And then tuna fish, that stuff can go outside the house. Somebody will think somebody is unalive in a house. Like, you could get evicted for being the source of infestation. And that's number one. That's what she broke out. Like, if your landlord find this out, you could lose your apartment. And also, she touched on the fact that he wants to have a baby and have a relationship and everything else. And then no, she don't think any girl is going to deal with this. And what was his answer?
If she doesn't like tuna, she can kick rocks.
They can kick rocks. You are picking a true relationship with another human being over tuna. And then on top of that, he goes on the table. There's all these cans of tuna on the table. Reach his old grummy hands into one of them old ass cans of tuna and eats in front of his mama, and then got dripping juice all on him. He already in parts of this episode, he said he likes the juice dripping on him because he feels dirty. You are just planning yourself and being alone for the rest of your life, because this is just crazy. This is crazy. So that's all in all. I'm just getting nauseous just talking about this. This is terrible. We get to the other part where he's going to meet his friends, the two friends he has, and they go chopping it up and talking about dating life, marriage, kids, and all this other stuff. So they, asking about him and his dating life and everything else. And he was talking about, I got a date coming, and I met on a dating app. I got a date coming up and everything. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then he was like, well, I'm be nervous about telling anybody about my secret. And he tells his friends about his secret.
Addiction to smelling tuna.
That would be because I be in disbelief. That would be my response as well, because I have to laugh it off, because that'll be my response as well. Like, say that again. And you telling your friends that. Like, I cannot believe that my friend is doing this. And he literally was like, yeah, it helps me and everything else. And he's cracking it open and smelling it in front of his friends and sipping the juice in front of his friends. They're like, dude, this is weird. And then the friends comment about his body odor.
I always knew that he smelled a little bit fishy, but I just thought that he might not wear deodorant. He might just go the organic route.
Because eventually, if you eat nothing but tuna, that stuff is going to come out your pores. And then since he got it all around his house, I know his clothes reek of tuna. Reek. We get to the day that he has his date. Now, before he even goes into the building, he cracks open a can of tuna outside. I don't know where this tuna one went, because I explain later. But he cracks open a can of tuna, takes the juices from the tuna and put it on his neck like cologne. Oh my God. This, just talking about this making me nauseous. I ain't never been around this man. And proceeds to go into the restaurant to meet his date. Now his date, her name is Tonia. And it's their first time meeting, of course, So they talking, chopping it up, talking about their dating life. And he asked her how long she's been been single. Then she asks him, and he proceeds to tell her, yeah, I haven't dated anybody since for years. She's like, what you mean for years? She's like, oh, I haven't dated anybody since I was 15. Mind you, he is 30. And normally people don't really count dating in your teenage years, because you're a teenager, you're in high school. It's small potatoes at that point. So he hasn't had any adult relationships at all. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to proceed to tell her about my secret. His friends told him not to, but he's like, no, I'm going to go be up front and I'm going to tell her. So he told her, okay, I have a little secret. What is
Might
that?
be a little bit weird, but yeah, like, it's basically, I always keep a can of tuna on me. And,
Why?
Thing is, I actually have an addiction. That's why I wanted to tell you. I hope you don't judge me, but basically I have an addiction to smelling tuna.
Okay. So he tells her, not only tells her, he shows her his addiction to tuna. She's looking like, okay, like dude need a padded room type of look, okay? And she tells him like, yeah, I don't think any woman is gonna like that. And the thing about it is he's listening, but then he's not listening, because while she's talking, she paused. He's cracking open that can right in front of her, and she literally asked him, please don't do that. And he just cracking that can open and proceeds to smell it and sip it. And she was like, she noticed the smell.
No, when you came in, you smelled a little fishy, but I wasn't going to say anything. But
Because
now
I like
I
to
see why.
wipe a little bit on my neck. Well,
Yeah, that's not okay.
So she looking at him, and he's like, yeah, I've been doing this for years and everything else. My girl was like, I don't think any woman is going to deal with this. They're not. So she literally was like, it's a no for me. It's a no. She said it flat out. It's a no for me. Like, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo smelling like chicken of the sea. And you bringing it with you, and you're sipping and eating the tuna with his hands in front of her. I cannot. And then when he was getting ready to go, he tried to shake her hand. Now this man had tuna juice on his chin, and she was like, no thank you, no thank you. Like, you literally had your hand in a can of tuna trying to shake my hand. No thank you. So he goes and leaves, and she's like, yeah, no thanks. And he ain't gonna get a woman if he don't kick this habit. So this is the end of the episode. He talks to his mom, tell her that the girl was like, no, I can't get with this. And she was like, yeah, you got to work on it. And he literally was like, I will want to tell my partner or potential date or whatever, this part was in my past. So I think he just want to work on himself before he goes out on a date, which I hope he does. Cause honey, and nobody's gonna deal with that. So that's the end of this video. I do have another one I'm going to record. I know I have taken mighty breaks, but with work and everything else, but you know, it's grown folks, okay? So I'm trying to get a schedule going, and hopefully I have that soon. So like I said, if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Or if you want to leave it Instagram DM, just go to Instagram and leave me a DM. And that is it. And I don't have to tell you what I need to do. I'm going to put it at the bottom of the screen. And if you stay to the end, thank you for coming around my way.
Sarate.